In on early childhood development and how lack of access affects children from poor households. Malnutrition is set to be a serious challenge in the country. So let's discuss this early childhood development with Nicci Hayes from the Centre for Social Development. Nicci, thank you so much for your time. I mean, when we talk about ECD, there's so many challenges that we could talk about here, particularly that have ramped up and affected families and children, especially during this time. But I know that malnutrition has to be one of those challenges hitting the top list there.
Absolutely. You know, the statistics that we've seen are things like 1 in 13 children being hungry for at least 3 days in the last week, 1 in 5 children hungry for 1 day in the last week. And we already have a country where stunting affects, they say, a third of children under 3 are affected by stunting, stunting is from extended malnutrition. And that, of course, has massive implications for the rest of your life, in terms of your education, in terms of even your earning power later in life. So it's a massive issue, and it's truly tragic.
Yeah, and I think what's even more tragic is that while these are the components and challenges that these families and poor households and children face, lack of access is also another problem, because there needs to be at least a seamless way for access to opportunities, access for children to find education and for food, but it seems that is still the barrier.
Absolutely. And there's a campaign on the go at the moment that you may have heard of, the Real Reform campaign, that's encouraging people to comment on the Children's Amendment Act, which is out for public comment until the 27th of November. And that act does seek to address those challenges you speak of. But many in the ECD sector, including ourselves, feel that it's not strong enough yet, those amendments, because we want to see access for everyone. And obviously, as you say, there's a link between access to ECD centres and access to nutrition that is provided, 7 Rand a day per child. And so we want to see access for all children, including children in poverty-stricken areas and including children with barriers to learning. And we need a fully inclusive response, so that all of us can get what they need.
And just speaking of access, I mean, in your experience, has government been expediting this process in as far as, you know, ECD is concerned, children are involved, and also these challenges that we are talking of this morning?
Well, you know, certainly in the short term, in 2020, there has been a massive blockage. I heard you speaking in your previous clip about monies not being paid. There was, you know, the ECD sector had to go to court over monies not being paid. I think there is a lot of goodwill in the government regarding ECD, particularly at the moment. We know it's close to the First Lady's heart, and but one of the issues in the campaign at the moment is that things like just registering as a preschool it's an arduous task, and there are so many blockages to that registration process. So I think that government is trying, but I think they need to do more.
All right, then we'll leave it. Thank you so much for joining us, Nicci Hayes there.